What's up everyone, it's Brady here with Gonzandoak and Nova, and in this video we're going to talk about 3 reasons why your lifting program isn't working. Now this one's important because if you're not following a good program or if you don't have a good coach, then this is going to stop you from seeing optimal results in the gym. Now if you're not following a program or you don't have a coach, then that's kind of a problem in itself. I would highly recommend getting a coach or following a good program. But in this video we're talking about bad programs, why your program might be bad. And also make sure to stay to the very end of the video because I'm going to give exact instructions on how you can download one of our free incredible programs, so stay to the end. Also, if you haven't already, go down below, take 2 seconds, hit the like button, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Number 1, no use or incorrect use of progressive overload. Now, as a personal trainer, I've seen other people's programs where it's literally the exact same workout week after week after week, offering no progression. And I've also seen another issue, which is programs changing too much week to week. Now, both of these are issues because they halt progression. If you're doing the same workouts week to week, you're ignoring the principle of progressive overload, meaning that you're not adding to your workload from week to week and you're not progressing that way. Now, if you change your workouts too often, that also halts your progression because you're not doing an exercise long enough in order to get better at it and properly progress. Typically, in a good workout program, it should start easy and end harder. This is done by slowly increasing the workload in a systematic way over time. This can be done through adding weight, adding reps, adding sets, and a few other ways. But if your program is ignoring progressive overload and they're not adding to the workload from week to week in a systematic way, then you're literally just not going to see the results that you're hoping for. Now, some other programs might start off with too high of a workload, in which case there's nowhere to end up progressing to. And some programs might start with too low of a workload, in which case they can't progress enough to get in the range of volume where you're gonna see the best results. But one of the most common mistakes I see in programs is that it completely ignores systemic fatigue, meaning the fatigue throughout your entire body. If you're not properly recovering from your workouts, then you're not properly adapting and overcoming the workload, which simply means you're not gonna grow. So now the perfect program would have progressive overload in a way that the fatigue is manageable, that you can overcome the stimulus, that you can grow, it's going to keep progressing in a proper scientific evidence-based way. The most unfortunate thing in the industry is that crazy sells. So if you hear that your friend is on this super crazy workout program that's insanely hard, it has 15 sets of bench press every single day, and for some reason people love that and it sells, crazy sells. Unfortunately, crazy doesn't work, crazy doesn't make you grow bigger. This is bodybuilding, this is not just exercising, so make sure that your program, especially if you're trying to build muscle, isn't just exercising, isn't just tiring you out in the gym, but is actually conducive as far as building muscle and optimizing your growth in the gym. Number 2 is ignoring proven exercises and doing all sorts of made up stuff. I have a personal experience with this. I ran a program called MFT28 created by Greg Plitt, who is someone that I really looked up to. He had a crazy physique. I figured if I did his program, I'd end up looking like him, right? Unfortunately, that's not quite how it works, and this program was ridiculous. And other than completely neglecting number 1, which is proper use of progressive overload, it definitely broke number 2, which is using a bunch of made up exercises that aren't as good. For example, one of the chest exercises was you had to do a push-up and then jump in the air and then do another push-up and jump in the air and do another push-up. So you do push-ups in a circle. And now when I think about it, I must have looked so silly just on the gym floor doing push-ups in a circle. And think about that. Is that actually an effective exercise, or is it just different? And unfortunately, people associate different and unique with the idea that maybe it works better because it's different and unique. This is obviously not true. It doesn't matter how unique an exercise is or how weird or unheard of an exercise is. That doesn't make it better. In a program, you want exercises that are proven to be effective and that can be progressively overloaded correctly. Something like the bench press. The bench press is always going to build your chest. Not saying it's the best exercise for your chest, but it's always going to work. And 10 years from now, the bench press is still gonna work. It's still gonna be great for adding on extra weight week after week, month after month, and correctly progressive overloading your muscles and growing. So ignore all the weird Instagram exercises, stick to what works, load the muscles properly, get better at those movements, and you will see great results. And number 3, it might be your fault. Now, what I mean by this is if you don't have the correct nutrition, or you're not sleeping properly, or you're lifting with the correct intensity, then no matter what program you use, even if it's the most scientific, evidence-based program ever, you still won't see results. Now, to talk about those three things, the nutrition, the sleep, and the intensity. Basically, nutrition, if you're trying to build muscle, you need to be in a slight caloric surplus, making sure that you're gaining weight. You also need to be eating enough protein to properly recover. Now with sleep, make sure you're getting at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep. I can't stress how important sleep is for recovery. Once again, if you're not recovering properly, you're not growing properly. And lastly, intensity. The best advice I have for a correct intensity in the gym is to have about 2 reps in reserve, or RIR. Basically, if you're doing a set, you should stop about 2 sets before failure. If you're constantly lifting and you're stopping short too early of failure, then you're actually halting your growth a lot and you're not using the correct intensity. In order to build muscle, you have to give your body a reason to build muscle. This means that you have to be lifting with the correct intensity. You gotta be going hard, you gotta be working hard. No, that doesn't mean you have to lift to failure, but 2 reps before failure is always a sweet spot. So make sure you're lifting with the correct intensity. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the like button. Also, make sure to go down below. You're gonna see a link, and that's where you can download your free workout program. I think you're gonna love it. It's very effective. And make sure to leave a comment below and tell us what you think about it. We will see you in the next video. Peace out.